Hey everybody, I think we're live. I'm just going to wait for people to come in. If you're watching the replay, you can zoom forward till you see something happening. So I'm just going to show a few things. Hi Barbara Chicken Pot Pie. Hi Dar. Hi Keeks. So I'm going to be working on some passport ATCs for the swap that's hosted by Janet Young and Dede Willingham. And I have already linked them in the description if you want to check out what the ATC swap is about. So I'm going to talk about these books in a minute. While we're waiting for people to come in, I'm going to go ahead and show what I've been up to this last week and show some happy mail. Hello, Silhe. How are you? So I got some happy mail from Teresa Peterman. She makes beautiful cards. Thank you, Teresa. And she makes these envelopes with scrapbook paper, and I just love them so much. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. And then I got a giveaway happy mail from Dede. That's Dede Willingham. So it's a little stencil. Let's see. It's like a Celtic knot stencil. And then some ephemera. And then this paper, I think this is from, I feel like it's from Collage Soup, but it could be Pour Toast. I can't recall. And then some postcards. So Dede always does fun giveaways. Check her out. Hey Dede, didn't see you there. I just showed your happy mail. Hi Linda. Hi Margelle. Hi Joanne. This was a coloring page I did in this cheap book from the dollar store called Totally Rad, and it was $2, and it just had really simple images. I showed, let me just zoom in a little bit here. I did show this book before, but this is the page I did. So very simple images in here, but they're kind of fun. So I did this one. I based with alcohol markers, and I did Dede's technique of shading and then adding some Posca pens to make the fur. So I did some white Posca pen, some black Posca pen, and then I did acrylic marker for the grass. And then stickles for the laser beams. So that was really fun. I really had fun doing that. Hi, Linda and Tim. Hi, Star Traveler. On that note, I did get a Cat and Paste been showing a lot of cute and cozy coloring books. I got this Coloring Book Cafe 130 Hige scenes because it's very thick and it has like all the seasons in it. So I thought this is gonna be just simple. This is my plan. It's not gonna be like Cat and Paste style coloring. Hi, Diane. It's going to be alcohol markers and then adding details with gel pens or alcohol markers. And that's it. I'm not going to make it look super realistic like she does. But what I thought I would do is maybe just start at the front and go to the back and see if my alcohol marker coloring improves over time. And it even has, I watched a tutorial by, I can't remember who it was, but she did ghosts in the Cute and Spooky, and she drew in the background and then used gouache over it to make it look like the ghost is transparent. So I thought, oh, I'll have to get that book separately, but then I'm so sorry. But then I realized this book has some ghosty images in it. So I'm looking forward to playing in that. Simple, low stress coloring. That's my plan. We'll see if we stick to it. I also bought this sharpener. Dede recommends this sharpener and I love it, and I had one, but then I dropped it on the deck and it fell apart and couldn't put it back together, so I bought a new one. And then my husband said, well, let me look at that. I already ordered this, and he was able to put it back together. So now I have 2 of them. So if you drop it, you can put it back together. We did another dance this last weekend, and we got high gold and we had lots of fun. I'll show you that. And I also got some happy mail from Lyndee and Sean Designs. Hi, Kimberly. So this is some velvet coloring pages, which will be super fun to color. I'll probably put that in my Asian journal if I ever get to it. And then we had done some gel printing together using Pastels. So she sent me a couple of her prints. Well done, Lyndee. And she'd sent me some tissue paper, and she also sent me this book. And I mean, this was, to mail this from the US to Canada was like crazy. And I texted her and I said, did you mean to send me this book? Like, I thought maybe her husband went to the post office and sent it by mistake. I thought it was maybe meant for someone else. So it's got some cool imagery in here. I might try doing some transfers of these because a lot of these are black and white. And it's a Frank Lloyd Wright. I think she sent Dede one that had more coloring images. So it must have been like a series of Frank Lloyd Wright. So I'm going to try that. Thank you, Lyndee. My allergies are bothering me. Hi, Belinda. So today, okay, so one of the things for the ATC swap, it's passport theme. And when my sister and I moved my mom to the care center, they traveled a lot, and she has lots of travel books. Now, people don't use these travel books anymore. They're like from 2003. So, I mean, people get all this stuff online now, right? So what I did was I thought, well, what if I use the images from here to make my ATCs? So I cut, little pieces out here and there. So I did Australia, Amsterdam, New Zealand, New York, France. And then I did a test of this pages to see if I could do an image transfer. So that's the test of the DK books. So it did work well. And then I did a pastel thingy-majiggy. And then they also had a few of these AMA or AAA, which is like a road thing. And I checked to see if those could be transferred, and they could. So I used that. So Ireland and Britain. Now it didn't separate Ireland into Northern and Southern Ireland. So I thought that was a little bit strange, but so I'm going to try the project first, but while it's drying, I'm going to show you all my blue dyed papers that I did. Am I missing anybody? I'm out of breath. So I'll show these in a bit. So what I did is I had Janet, I said, Janet, can you show us how you get all your ATCs on one page? So she did. So she said, you cut 3.5. You probably can't even see that. Let me get a marker. Sorry, I'm so sniffly. Yes, Star. And she had some, I mean, my mom had some really nice ones too, more like coffee table books. So I didn't cut any of those up. I'm not ready to do that yet, but so 3.5 inches first, and then you do 2 strips of 2.5. Okay, and then you cut this down, the 2.5 ones you cut into 3.5. So you get 6 here, and then the 3.5 strip you cut into 2.5 parts here. So then you get 10 ATCs from one 8.5 by 11. Hi, Jane. Hi, Joanne. Did I say hi to you? So I spent yesterday and today making my collage. So I used my Frixion pen to put these lines onto this page. So I have the 3.5 strip, the 2.5 strip, and the 2.5 strip. So each one of these is purportedly going to be an ATC. So we have Amsterdam, we have New York. Hope you guys can see that in this camera. New York, New Zealand, and I've been to New York, so I've seen the Flatiron Building and the Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty. New Zealand, and I've been to New Zealand, and I've actually saw this show, which was a sheep shearing show. I actually saw that specific show. And then Australia, and I've been to Australia. I think that's a didgeridoo. So I've been to Sydney. And then England, I just grabbed the, you know, each of these countries, there's so many different things you can do. So I also added like words from the travel thing. So the souvenir shop specializes in quality, but not necessarily complete words, right? So some sheep, some those wood-faced housing, and then like London. Hope I'm in frame here. Ireland, it was weird. They just had Ireland. They didn't have Northern or Southern listed. So I apologize if this is more generic, but this is the Mountains of Mourne in the background. And my in-laws are, well, my father-in-law's from in Newcastle, near the Mountains of Mourne. So I've been here. I feel like I've been to this harbor. This might be more Southern Ireland. I apologize if I'm mixing up my Irelands. And then apparently Oscar Wilde is from Ireland. So he was in the travel book. And then we have France. So lots of cool imagery, even though this is Da Vinci. I mean, this is in the Louvre, the Mona Lisa. So I'm not sure, you know, how all this is going to transfer. So I have a backup plan. Okay, so that was the travel books I had. And then I had 3 left to do. So what I did was I grabbed out, I've got a lot of like travel magazines. And I know I've done image transfers with these before. So I took this one and I deconstructed it. And I found enough to do Vietnam, Africa, and Italy. So these are great. You know, you get, this is an AMA, so that's a local travel place. You can, the quality of this paper is great. I thought this would make a great journal in itself. And you could just add a bunch of stuff. I'm getting off track here, but I did harvest this magazine. Was it this one or did I throw it out? I harvested one of the magazines. I think it was a different one. Anyways, so I've got lots of images for other projects. I'll probably sort those. And then I've got some cruise ones. This one is a beautiful one. Again, this is an AMA, Alberta, or Canadian Auto Association. And they have some good quality travel books you can use. All right, everybody with the tour? Okay, now I just need a tissue for my nose because my nose is, I don't have a tissue. Hey, Safia. Okay, so I thought, let's just go ahead and try this. We'll do an image transfer and see if it works. I don't know if it's gonna work because everything's collaged. There's different types of print, different types of papers. There's different thicknesses and they're some are on top of others. So I don't know how well that's going to make a transfer. So I'm gonna do that, but I've got some backups here that we could maybe do ATCs a different way. So this one I just printed on, I forgot that I don't have borderless printing. So this first one didn't really get everything. So then I reprinted it, shrinking it down. I tried to affect the saturation, didn't really work. I did a couple black and white ones. That's on regular copy paper. That's a bit darker, like more contrast on regular copy paper. So if this doesn't work, I have a plan we can try with this one. Hey, Becky. And then this was on thicker paper. I thought if nothing works, then I can at least, you know, colorize this. And then because I had to shrink it, I'd have to cut them down and then mount them on a 2.5 by 3.5 piece of cardstock. So those are our options. Okay, let me grab out my big Gelliplate. So we're going to do a bit of that before I show you all my blue dyed papers. And I was inspired by Debbie Epps on Lyndee K's channel. She showed how she does a lot of paper dyeing using RIT fabric dye. Sorry, just getting a Kleenex here. So I'll discuss my successes and failures. I guess Debbie Epps does sell her papers, so she's going to be doing that on Lyndee's channel. I've also bought some awesome papers from Lovely's Crafting Lodge, so check her out as well. Yes, it is ambitious and creative, and I just got everything finished a few minutes ago. So I'm out of breath again this week. I need to get more organized. Not wait till the last minute. Okay, so usually before I do a transfer, I warm up my plate. So I've got Big Peggy here, who's 12 by 14, because I want to be able to put the whole, where did my collage thing go? I want to be able to put the whole thing down and pick it all up on one piece of paper. So this I actually collaged it onto cardstock. So let's do a warm-up because often I'll do the warm-up before the pulls before I start, but I thought let's do it together and then you guys can see what I mean by warming up the plate. So this had some grungy stuff left over, so we're gonna hopefully pick most of this up because I do not want this on my final project. So again, if you're wondering, first of all, what an ATC is an artist trading card, and it's a 2.5 by 3.5 as a standard size. And Janet M. Young and Dede Willingham, who I have put links in the description, they're hosting one jointly. So if you want to join in, go over to Janet's channel, check out the post, send her an email to get her address, and then she will send you her address, and then you can mail your cards in, and the due date is May 30th. So Joanne, you need a warm-up. I just find if you don't do a warm-up of your plate, then the image transfer doesn't work as well. It's more bubbly. It just works better if you've warmed up your plate. Now there's a bit of a wrinkle here, so I hope it comes off. So maybe while that's sticking, let's, I'll show you my papers, my painty papers, my dyed papers. So I've kind of categorized them into fails, good, and better. So I'm just gonna pull over, I've got them sort of in somewhat of an order, and I use lots of different papers. And I'll just show you the dye. So for the technique, check out Debbie's guest stream on Lyndee's channel. I'll try to remember to link that below. So Debbie was using this RIT dye. She had different colors. I love indigo, so I got the indigo, and she was doing one color at a time, but I decided to do kind of the brown with the blue. Now this one is for cotton, wool, nylon, and more, but there's also a dye that's more for synthetic, which maybe works on more papers than what I did. So I put some of it in a spray bottle with some water, and then Debbie also shows that you use a big tray. So I use the same tray that I did a lot of my marbling in, and then you wet the paper, put a piece of paper down, you brush on the paper, you put a stencil, you wet your next paper, you put it down. But what I did was on top of the stencil I put down, I sprayed the blue, and then I wet this paper, I put it down, and then I brushed the brown on, and then I put my stencil, and then I sprayed it with the blue, and I continued that, if that makes sense. So I did these index cards, and they worked quite well. Let me know if I'm not in camera. I did some dictionary pages. These were okay. The stencil, they're not my favorite, but I wanted to show these two. This is actually a French-English dictionary, also from my mom's stash. So some of it worked really well, some didn't. This one's one of my favorite pieces. This is like one of those certificate papers you can buy in printer paper, and it had this gold border. So this, I really like this side. I think this would make a great little traveler's notebook journal, like an insert. I think that would be cool. This one is, you know, that yellow legal pad paper. the lines all went away and it gave this really cool, I'm just looking for that print, that pad, and it gave a really cool color to it. So that started off as this paper. So all the lines disintegrated and the stencil really shows through. This is just plain copy paper. So these are my good ones. I like these ones. This is I think this is the Hammermill 32 pound paper. That was a brayer off on this side. So I used my stencil stash from ages ago. I didn't actually use any PM Artist Studio stencils, maybe just one, because I wasn't sure if it would wreck it. So these are all assorted stencils. I can't really tell you where they are, what they're from. So I found the paper that I put down onto the stencil that I'd sprayed with the blue, that side tended to work better than the side that I brushed with the brown and then put stencils on top of. This is cheap 3-hole, it wasn't lined paper, it was like a pretty thin copy paper. It's nice wrinkly. So that's the same paper. That's the same paper. Actually, no, I think this other paper here was just regular copy paper, because this paper is the 32 pound Hammermill. I can feel the difference. So if you want to try this, check out Lyndee's stream with Debby. If you like the look of these papers but don't want to deal with the mess, then you can buy papers from Lovely's Crafting Lodge. You can buy papers from Debbie Epps. So, okay, and then this was the graph paper. I love graph paper. So I like this one. I think this would make a cool like trifold, or I could put it in that traveler's notebook. But that one worked really well. I love graph paper. I heart graph paper. So I'm trying to go through this quickly while our warm-up print is. Diane says she did the sprays and leaves and stencils and got some good ones. Yeah, I was thinking it'd be fun to try it with botanicals. This is the paper that I have that looks like it's crumpled. It's a copy paper. So I put the crumpled side. I like this one here, turned out well. See how it looks crumpled, but it's not. I mean, I did put once they dried, I put mine under a stack of books to try to flatten them. I don't know why this one is so pink. Okay, and then these were the fails. So this was more of the dictionary paper. So these ones, I think they were okay. They weren't as nice as the other ones. This was the paper that was sitting on the bottom. So I just used a brayer off sheet, and I knew it would get these lines from the bottom of the tray. Hi, Malia. And then this one didn't work quite as well. It's that same paper with the gold edging, but it's okay. This is, oh, I also used some psychology textbook and chemistry textbooks. They didn't work as well, I think because the paper has more of a plastic in it. So I'm thinking maybe the other RIT dye that is for synthetic materials might work better on this paper. So these ones didn't work that great. So those, I would say those are the fails. So if I had used the dye that was not just for cotton wool, nylon, and more, if it was the one that was more for synthetics, then maybe that would have been better. So that's my stash of dyed papers. Am I gonna do that again? I don't know. I like to try different things. I don't know. I see someone do something and I think, oh, I want to try that. So I try it. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it forever, but okay. Yes, I love graph paper. Hi, Jackie. All right, so this is our warm-up print on Big Peggy. So I knew that seam would be a little bit of a problem. Okay, so we picked up some of the leftoverness there. I'm going to use a baby wipe to clean it off. So hopefully that's enough of a warm-up to do our transfer, and we're going to have to cross our fingers. Even though I did do that test, like I said, that was one piece of paper. It wasn't collaged, a bunch of different levels, different inks. So some of these might work, some of these might not work. The whole thing might fail, but that's okay. We've got backup, and like Dede said this morning, well, then you'll know what not to do, right? Okay. So that's pretty good. We got most of that off. All right, so we're going to do our transfer. Just going to give that a little bit of a dry. Let me let that sit for a second. I'm going to put these dies back somewhere else. So right now I have a temporary table set up in my room, but it's not turning out to be that temporary. I told my husband, don't come up here. Don't come up here. So we're going to do that. This is cardstock. I'm going to try to, if it works, after I colorize it, I'm going to try to pick it up on a thick cardstock as well, so that all I'll have to do is cut it down into the ATC size. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Oh, you like my binary stamp? I like it too. It's, I think Mariah called it bits. That's, that was some of the leftover stuff on there that Becky's mentioning. I think it's in the sink right now. I will try to show it again later, but let's see. Let's not prolong the misery. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to use my trusted Liquitex Basics. Can't let fear of failure stop you. Finding your voice and style as an artist is by asking what if, using your stuff, trying your stuff, following your crazy ideas. That's right, Sophia. Thank you for that reminder. Okay, so I'm probably going to have more paint than I need because I want to make sure I have good coverage. Sorry, I've got, I had some, I think a trail mix before I came on because I was so busy trying to finish this collage, I didn't have time to have lunch because it is, for me, it's 1 o'clock when I start. Now I've got this tickle in my throat. All right, so we're gonna cross our fingers. Okay, so when you're doing a transfer, you don't want too much paint, but you don't want too little paint. You want it to be almost see-through. I think that's too much. So when I pull down and I brayer off, I'm taking off paint. I can see I've got a little bit, not enough there, so I'm going to turn this around and put that on the bottom where I don't have as much stuff. Okay, push down everywhere. And then you don't want it down too long. You can peek. I think, by golly, I think it worked mostly. Check it out. Woohoo! We'll let that dry. I'm going to wipe this to see if it's kind of, we might be able to even reuse this. I'm just going to wipe this off. Kind of distresses it, maybe. Woohoo! I'm so happy. That's the hard part, that first part. It's not over yet. There's still challenges, but to me, that's the hard part done. Hi, Christine. All right, just going to, and what we could do is if we don't like how some of these work, we can collage on top of it. So I could even use pieces from the ones that I printed out on top. Oh, okay, this part's a little iffy, but you can kind of see the windmill there. Most of these worked pretty well. There's a few bubbles. I didn't want to have it down too long because I was worried. This here kind of disappeared. Let's see, what was that? That was, oh, the Mona Lisa. So I might have to take her out of one of the other pieces and collage her back on. But we'll see. I hope they're perfect for ATCs. I'm just going to wipe Mona's face off a bit in case we have to redo her. This one here, she didn't work very well. This here is the Safari, so we might have to collage something on top of that. So we'll see how it looks. I definitely didn't push down enough here, I think. This part here worked better. Oscar Wilde's a little bit faded, but that's okay. I'm not too sad with that result. Tons of detail in the giraffe. Yes, the giraffe worked great. Okay, so my concept is I'm kind of doing, this just reminds me of the 60s. I want to use pan pastels to not colorize specifically, but just kind of do like a background wash of bright colors. Could be a mistake. I think this is pretty dry. So let's just do that. Let's put our pan pastels on there. So I'm going to just bring this over here. I love using pan pastels on the gel plate. Let me get my tools. I've got to move all these books here. Now, because these are ATCs, they're not, you know, I'm not selling them. These are not copyright-free images. So if you want to be selling things, then you'd have to use copyright-free images, such as you would get from like a collage soup book or a pour toast book. Hello, Create with Becca. Okay, so I'm going to use the colors I used here. So I used some yellow, and this is going to be like here, I definitely going to have to collage something on top of that. But I'm going to try to just kind of not overthink where the color is going. In fact, I might have to use a bigger tool. So there's some yellow, and then I'm going to wipe this and then use this bright green. Oops, that was the yellow. This second one here was my ghost print. You can kind of see the wording there. Yeah, you can use copyright-free images from public domain. However, I don't have a laser printer, so these are magazine image transfers. I did see a technique that I might want to try, and maybe we'll get to it today with my backup images, and we'll see if it works. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not being overly thoughtful about where I'm putting these colors. I'm just trying to get color on the plate. Let's do some orange. Now I do want to be careful not to mix orange with the green too much, but if it does. Now my plate is very yellow, so it might be hard for you to see the color. It's even hard for me to see where I've got color and where I don't. Okay, and magenta. So that's this one here. And then I think I might have to pick up my plate to see where I'm missing. And if you don't have pan pastels, you can use makeup, like eye makeup from like inexpensive eye makeup, dollar store or otherwise. You can use paint. You can paint on this. I find that takes longer to dry, and I tend to be somewhat impatient. Okay, let's see. Oh, blue. I want to do some blue too. And this turquoise. So I'm trying to find spots where I don't have anything. So I'm not looking totally at chat right this second. And then I'll go back in and I'll see where I'm missing color. Okay. I'll have to read that back, Dee. I missed that. Of course, I'm not really looking, like I said, I'm not looking at chat totally right this second. Okay, so let's see. Definitely missing some here. Let's do green here. Okay, I'm gonna just kind of lift this up to see where I'm missing. So I'm missing up here. Let's do some orange and maybe some yellow. So yeah, my parents traveled a lot. And when I was flipping through the books, I found some ticket stubs. Let me see here. I found some ticket stubs to, where did I put that? I had a ticket stub I found. I can't remember what it was for. Okay, let's see. So when you look through it, you can see the, so here I definitely don't have any color. Let's put some magenta there. And then I'm going to pick it up with the metallic white. Diane asked one time, I can't remember what we were doing. We were talking about using transparent things. And this is that green. This green is very orangey. I feel like adding a little bit of this other green to it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we need more color here. Let's use those two greens together here. And let's do yellow. I like the yellow. It's very bright and it kind of goes with the green. It goes with the pink and goes with the orange. It's kind of like a nice blending color because it doesn't muddy out most of the colors I'm using. Hi, Margie. Okay, I'm definitely missing some here. I'm going to put a bit more blue here. And let's do brighter orange. This orange here. Ooh, that's a brighter orange. Yeah, that's a brighter orange. Let's add a little bit more of that bright orange. So when you use pan pastels or makeup on the gel plate, you will not get all of it up. That's for sure. Okay, I'm missing some here. Let's do magenta. Okay, I should try to be more systematic here. So we definitely need something here. Let's do the green. The edge of that needs something. I think this Sky needs a little bit more. I'm trying not to look at what the image is. It's hard. A bit more orange there. Okay. Oh, over New York needs a bit more of this yellow there. And it's whatever you put down first that's going to show the most on the gel plate. Let's put a stripe of blue there, and this is looking a bit pale. Let's do a bit of that green. Okay, so I'm trying to work my way down. Hi, Janet. This is my ATC in progress. Okay, this part here needs some magenta, I think, and some more green. This is New Zealand, I think. And this part here. Okay, just kind of working my way down. Here we need some blue. Okay, and so there's not really a total rhyme or reason of where I'm putting the color. I just want to try to get everything covered. Now I think we're probably going to be collaging over Sir Oscar Wilde there, but let's go ahead and make sure he's got enough color on him. You never know, might be surprised. Right here, we need a little bit more, not space. So I'm lifting it up to see where it's see-through. Right here, we need something. So this is almost like a master board, but we're going to cut it up in known directions. So Janet, this is one of the reasons I asked you Monday, can you show me how you do one page cutting? Because I did my collage using the layout you had, and then we did a transfer. Okay, I think we're almost there. Just lifting this up. I feel like this looks a little bit blah. I think that's the Eiffel Tower. We might have to stamp on an Eiffel Tower. So I'm not saying that I just am going to only do what this shows. Like I can add on top of it. I'm not going to limit myself. And wherever the blue and the magenta meet, we get a nice purple. So I'm going to do a few, and try to get some purple just by mixing that. And we'll see, hopefully we don't get a bunch of mud. All right, let's go for it. Hi, Brenda. Your four-legged friends are fine. Well, that's good. Okay, I'm going to put this away. I don't want to get paint in my pan pastels. And then I'm definitely going to have to be very careful picking this up that I have to be very accurate. So this is pan pastels are a dry medium, so I don't have to wait for anything to dry. This is a little fluff. Okay, let's do this. Dede says, I make so many typos, I read them. Second nature. Joanne posted her ATCs on Instagram. Awesome. Okay, so I got my stuff ready. Make sure that the roller you used for your black paint is totally dry, because you don't want to just be putting black paint on here. Okay, so I'm going to use the outline of my original as a template. And I want a good layer. You don't want to over brayer it because you don't want it to I'm trying to find the edge. I'm hoping there's no room for error here. I'm hoping it's right on. Looks okay. All right, and get my big paper. Where's my big paper go? Give that a really good push because I want everything to get picked up. Hi, Jen. Sitting here figure out which one I would keep. Okay, so I'm actually going to put, because that paper is very thick, I'm going to put a couple books. I'm going to move this. Well, I don't want to move it too far. I'm just going to put some books on top of it. And then we can try that other experiment. I don't want to lift it because I don't want to like break the seal. So I'm going to just slide this in one direction. So when I was thinking about my backup plan, one of the things I remembered is that someone, and I apologize, I cannot recall who it was, someone had sent me a video about inkjet transfers. So I thought we could try that with one of these printouts. So I think this one's got a lot of ink on it. It's got good contrast. So does this one. And I also scanned that master board into my computer so I can make more. I wish I had borderless printing though. Okay, so I'm going to, what she did was she said, and I'll link her below. I can't remember her name. She said she just put a pretty fresh inkjet copy onto her Gelliplate. And then she wet it. So I haven't tried this before. Let me get my spray bottle. So then she wet her paper. And I think she rubbed it with a towel. And then in this case, it's not a resist, it's actually the ink, if this works. I don't know if it depends on what kind of printer you have, but she said it's the ink from your print that transfers to the Gelliplate. So I don't know. We're going to experiment here together. I don't want it to get too wet. I don't want it to wrinkle, but I want to see everything there. It's wrinkling there. So I'm going to leave it. Let me look her up on here. Let's see. Slide over. Oh, no, it wasn't slide. It was like previously viewed. Let me go to what I just... Well, that's playlists. I want history. History? Where's my history? View all, maybe? Okay, it was Melissa Reed, inkjet printing on the Gelliplate. Here, I'll put a link in chat, and then I will link it into my description later. So this is what I'm trying to do. I don't know if it's going to work, but this is where I got this technique from. Okay, let's see. Oh, so the ink is on there. Maybe I need to push it more. Give it more of a rub. So this is just a dry, I'm just using a dry baby wipe. So I don't know if you leave it on longer, if it works better, but here's my wet piece of paper. So we'll let that dry. And then here is the image. It's very faint. Let's just do that. Just put a piece of paper under here to show you. You can't see it with all my mucky muck on there. So you can kind of see the image on there. And then she let that dry, and then she used matte medium to pick it up. I wonder if I could put pan pastel on there and then pick it up. Should we try that? Or we could pick it up on a previously, we don't want like a bright color, I think, because it's very faint. Let me just see if I have a brayer off or something. That's pretty dark. I would like something with multiple colors. I could make one. I'm just seeing if I have something handy-ish. Here's an orange. And I don't know, I feel like, I kind of feel like that's gonna, I could try it on this. I feel like it's gonna smudge when I put the matte medium on it. This one's kind of got some colors on it. We could add some colors. Okay, let's try it. I'm just gonna use the matte medium. And she just brayered the matte medium. I feel like it's gonna move the ink, but what do I have to lose exactly? Maybe what I'll do is, I know this isn't gonna totally cover. What if I do like that, and I do some, let's do some pan pastel over here just as a test. Where's my tool? Here it is. So that's purple. Let's do some green. And maybe some blue. It seems like it's staying in place there. Oh, I got to use some orange for that giraffe. Let's do a bit of magenta in between here. And then we'll do some orange. This one will color the giraffe specifically. And then we'll do some blue. Some yellow and a bit more magenta. And then we'll see. It's a little bit, or should I do like the whole, tempted to do this whole set. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this whole set with some pan pastels. And then we'll leave those blank and see how it looks. green. I'm not really paying attention to what color is going to be picking it up, but let's do some light orange here, and then some more blue. By the time we get this down, I think that should be ready to pick up. And let's do some yellow orangey for these cats down here, and some green. And some more blue. Okay, I think that's a good experiment. I'm thinking almost like the pan pastel is going to help protect the ink from getting smudged. Hey Debbie Epps, I showed some of the dyed papers that you inspired, and I told people that you sell your papers, and I think you're selling some papers on May 3rd on Lyndee's channel. If people want to check that out. And I need a brayer off paper here. And I do recommend, I have to shout out my lovely Lovely's Crafting Lodge. She sells dyed papers as well. Debbie's are really more on the grungy side. So that didn't really smudge very much. So it'll be interesting to see what picks up. Now it looks like this paper was not, it looks like it was cut a little bit there. So, all right. Okay, let's check this. Let's see if this is ready to go. Whoops. I'll just throw that anywhere. Okay. I can kind of move this out of the way. Don't forget to tell me to pick it up because it's on the floor right now. Okay, fingers crossed. Let's see if this worked. So far, so good. What I should do is, let's do it this way. So that didn't quite take there, but we're not going to worry too much. This looks a little bit like we'll have to collage on top of that. Although there's still some ink there. Let's do our matte medium trick. Let's just see. Is that, it's going to do some matte medium where it looks like it's not picking up very well. Let's do a bit of matte medium there, a bit there. I'm just going to slip that back down for a bit. Let's check this side. Oh, I think that New York turned out really well. Yeah, those are pretty good. Okay, I'm just going to let London's having some issues. So we're just going to let that sit a little bit longer. So Debbie said, yes, May 3rd on Lyndee's channel. Debbie's are very grungy due to dirty stencils with dye grunge. And Jacqueline, that's Lovely's Crafting Lodge, has a variety of other dyed items too, like gauze, envelopes, and other papers. Yes, there's room for everyone. Okay, let's turn this over. And let's wipe up some of our mess here. Okay, so we're gonna give that a few more minutes. Let's see if this one worked. Okay, it still feels wet. So it looks like the ink did smoosh a bit, but not too bad. So this is where we did the pan pastels, and this is where we didn't, and this is just the background color of the paper. So we could, when we get our next one, like, so I know that Oscar Wilde didn't turn out very well, so I could actually cut him out of here and paste him on the other ATC. These can kind of be our backups. And you can see here, all the ink lifted from here, but the pan pastel did interfere a smidgen on this side. But it looks dark here, so let's pick this up with another color. Let's use just a PBO blue. So I've never tried that technique before of just putting your inkjet printer paper. Now I just printed mine about maybe 10 minutes before I started, so I don't know if you leave it sitting longer, if it how it'll look. Okay, I'm trying to find a piece of paper. Here, I'll just use this one. Okay, I have a little sip of water. Yeah, I was trying to describe to my husband this morning, I was showing him my little, well, last night they were watching the hockey game and I was working on my collage and he was like, okay. What I could do too is I could maybe seal this with gloss gel medium and then cut it up, and then that would kind of give like another style of ATCs. Maybe I'll send Janet both styles. Okay, let's see. I don't know if that's enough time for this to have worked. Let me move this out of the way here. Trying to remember, where was London? London. That's France. It's Ireland. This is London here. Okay, let's see if it worked. I don't know if that's enough time for the matte medium. Yeah, a bit more came off. I'm just gonna go for it, and then we'll do a ghost print. All right, so there's our basic ATCs. I'm going to do the ghost print, and then we'll cut these up and see how they look. I'm thinking I feel like a yellow might be good to try. Let's just use a yellow. A fluorescent yellow and a piece of paper. And then we'll see how we're doing for time. Hi, Carrie. We're doing some mad scientist experimentation today. I'm working on some ATCs for Janet's and Dede's swap. Okay, we're gonna let that sit. Where's my big piece of paper? Okay, we got Janet doing limericks. Okay, I'm gonna cut this up and then we'll see how we can finish them to make them look like some areas need something for sure. So let me cut them. I'm just going over to my cutter. So this first one should be 3.5. Looks like it is, so that's good. Janet's measurements worked. And then this one should be 2.5. Now, if my measurements are a bit off, Janet, do I get kicked out of the swap? Okay, and then we're gonna cut 3.5. I believe Janet's going to be putting all the ATCs into a photos, like a sleeve. So if some of these don't look recognizable, we can add some ephemera to it. So this is a fun way to use up some old books you have. In my case, I'm happy to be able to use some of the memories, memory keepsakes from my mom, right? So I'll be right back. I'm just working on cutting these. I could have brought my cutter over there, but I don't have a lot of room on there. And what's fun too is I've been to some of these places. So here where the Eiffel Tower looks a little bit suspect, I might maybe add a stamp. Okay, let's cut these 2.5. I think Africa, we're definitely going to have to add something to the bottom of that. Okay, I'm almost done, people. Okay. And all right, so let's look at these up close and then we'll decide what we need to add to them. We'll add with this. Let's see if this is ready. Maybe we can use this to add. Here, let's pick that up. Pull that. So it does, the pan pastel stays on there quite a long time. You keep doing ghost prints until it's faded or you don't find anything usable, and then you can clean it up with baby oil. So I've shown that before, so I'm probably not going to show the baby oil cleanup today because I want to play with these and get my ATCs done so I can get them in the mail. Let's pull this one here. And we'll see what is usable. All right. I don't think that's going to be very useful. All right, let me move this out of the way. Over here. And let's move Big Peggy back to her little home for now. I'll clean her up later. And then we'll zoom in and finish our ATCs. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're good. We're good for time. All right. Let's make this a little less chaotic. Okay, let's zoom in a bit. Let's see how that looks. All right, so this first one, just gonna see if I can see the camera, is Amsterdam. So Queen Beatrix turned out okay. We can kind of see the windmill there. We can't really see the word Amsterdam. The beer looks kind of cool, and we definitely see these little houses well. So if anything, I might want to find, do I have somewhere where Amsterdam looks better? No, I do not. So I can go over to, that's my master board. I can go over to one of these printouts as well. I've got this colored one. Now these aren't the same size. I had to reduce these because I didn't have borderless printing, although this one printed the same size, but it cut off Amsterdam. So let's go ahead. And then this paper is really thick, so I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to just cut it from here. Or let's do, should we just do a, let's do a flip through of all of them, and then I'll address each one. This one is Italy. So it's a little iffy. So we'll try to add to that one. This one is Vietnam. I think that worked well. The text didn't, and she didn't. So we'll have to fix that. Here's Africa. I'm going to add a bit of color here. I like the giraffe. Africa looks pretty good there. So I'm going to try to put in the lion, the leopards or something. Let's see if we can find a good substitute. This is France. Not bad. I think we need an Eiffel Tower here, and we need a Mona Lisa up here. These are going to, sorry, I hope I'm in frame. I think I'm pretty good in frame. I'm just looking back at the playback. Okay. This was Ireland. So we need to put Ireland back. And then Oscar Wilde, I think we can put this one, we'll put him on top of there. So that one's not too bad. This is London. London looks pretty rough. So hopefully we can find a piece to cobble it together. This is Sydney. So the Opera House looks good. Sydney Explorer. This guy's good. What was in this corner? Oh, the koala. So we have to put a new koala there. This is New Zealand. I think this one probably, this top part's good. Down here we should add to it. And Wall Street looks good. The Pickle Guys, the Flatiron Building, the Empire State. I think this one is the best one. I think this one's the best one, even though the Statue of Liberty is a little bit dark. I think that one's complete. Let me see if I have to cut the edge off there. Three and a half. Yeah, so that little edge can come off. So all I need to do is just ink, probably just ink the edges. And then I have to write my information on the back. So to me, This one is a complete success. We'll say complete success. Even though I don't know what was in the bottom. Where's the, that's pretty good. Now, does everybody keep their ATC corners square, or do some people round them? This is very thick cardstock, so it's perfect for ATC size. I think I need a new stamp pad, or I need to add some more ink, I should say. There we go. All right, so we got one complete. New York, you're set. Yeah, I like the bright colors, Star. Okay. All right, let's work on Amsterdam. So we need the word Amsterdam, which we're going to grab from this one. And I didn't mention before, but when you use your pan pastels and you pick it up with paint, it pretty much seals them in. So when I do this, okay, let's see, that finger is pretty clean. You don't really get much on your finger, so you don't have to seal them. Now, where did I put Amsterdam? I just cut it and then, okay. I don't think there was Amsterdam worked out well on here. No, not quite. Okay, so let's do Amsterdam. And what we can do is we can just use, let me get some, I'm just going to use some alcohol marker to colorize. So I want like a pink and orange. R10. So I'm using my oohoo-hoos. Anybody else find that you swatch your oohoo-hoos? And I'm pretty careful to keep my swatch out of the sun, but I find that my swatches have changed a bit compared to my oohoo-hoos. So I'll show you. So here's my swatch. So I took out two pinks. So I got this one, which is nice and bright, and this one here. So this is supposed to be R10, which is R10, not bad. The other one was R15. See, that's totally different. That's totally faded. So I almost have to do a new swatch sheet, even though I haven't left this. I think maybe an orange one. This is yellow. I need an orange alcohol marker too, I think. Orange. Of course, I left my swatch sheet behind, so I don't know what color of orange this is. Ooh, that's too dark. Let's see. Like, I don't know if these aren't valid, so maybe YR3. YR3, YR3. So how y'all doing today? I don't think I asked that. Okay, so let's do, I also have this blue color here. Let's do it in orange, since the Dutch color is orange. When we go on our cruise, we often go, most of our cruises have been through Holland America, and they always have an orange party. So you dress up in your orange outfit and you go and have some orange drinks. I think I'm going to use my glue. Yeah, I know they're not light fast, but I thought if they weren't in the sun, they would at least stay the right color. So when I use alcohol markers in my coloring books, even though they're closed. Is the color going to change and fade? I assumed it was just in the sun that it would, or in light, not necessarily the sun. Oh, Carrie, you cruise Holland America? Cool. Maybe I'll see you on board someday. We've got a Japan cruise booked. I'm going to offset that a bit like that. Okay, so I got that. I feel like the windmill's good enough. The smoked fish didn't really show. Let's see, do we have any smoked fish that look better? Those ones don't show. Let's see here. Where's the, those ones don't show. Okay, so let's cut out some smoked fish and add them. So the words worked, but not the fish. So I'm going to just cut out the fish part. And then we'll colorize it. What I'll do is, let me just cut the actual fish out. So if I had a laser printer, what I could have done is I could have done a laser print and then transferred that. And then I think the transfer would be more cohesive because it's not all different layers and different inks and stuff. Okay, what color for these fish? I'm thinking light blue. Maybe with some orange yellow heads, maybe some yellow heads here. Okay, let's glue that on. Let's not overthink this. We need to get these in the mail. Joanne, no, he is not. I'm about, I want to say 5 years older than him. I can't remember. Oh gosh, this isn't working now. And I retired kind of early, so he's probably not going to retire early. He likes being busy, and so he's going to be working for probably at least 10 more years, if not more. There we go. So yeah, so we just travel a little bit. Yeah, I was telling my husband, like, when we go to Japan, I'm like, I want to go to the art stores. And I'm thinking, I want to like bring an extra suitcase. All right. So I think that's good enough. All right, so there's Amsterdam. So there's our Amsterdam one. Now, where did I put New York? I should keep these in a safe place together. So we're going to put those up here so I don't lose them. Okay, let's do New Zealand. Now, I wish these sheep showed more. Let's see. Here they show a bit better. And this fellow shows better here. Let's see if we cut that out. The words turned out well, so let's just cut out the shape. See, this print is smaller than the original because I don't have border to border. Now this one here is the original size. No, this one is the original size. Maybe we can just sneak that in. And maybe we just use the markers to colorize it. I guess I could have just colorized the whole thing, but I wanted to try to do a transfer. And then this guy here, I'm just going to cut him off this copy. He's cut off a bit though, because this is the one that maybe I just cut him out close to him. This awesome Maori warrior. I went to New Zealand back in the 80s and I loved it there. So what if we do that? What if we color yellow to the blue here? I think I want to keep it light. It's yellow. Maybe to orange. Since it's already quite orangey. I don't want the sheep to disappear though. Maybe a bit of pink. So if you get these cards, there's some alcohol markers on here, so they could fade. They could fade over time. Just saying. Just saying. Could fade over time. Okay, so we're going to put that on there. Whereas I don't think the pan pastels, they are pretty light fast. Okay, so we got that, and then what if we do the blue down here to the orange, like it goes green to orange. This orange is so dark though. We'll do orange around him, and then we'll do yellow on him. So I hope I'm not boring you guys too much. And then we'll just glue him on top like that. Maybe a bit more blue here. And a bit more orange over here just to blend it in. Maybe it should be fine under a plastic sleeve. Okay, so let's glue those on. I'm going to use, I think Eileen's Tacky is flowing better than the other one. So I'll just do a bit of Eileen's Tacky and then a bit of glue stick. Okay, and then this one, a bit of Eileen's Tacky. And like I said, I do have this whole sheet scanned and printed and saved in my computer. So I could always print it out again. And maybe I could have it printed as a laser copy. All right, so I think that's done. It says visitors checklist, wines of New Zealand, souvenir shop. So it's got little details in there. That should be fun. Maybe I'll have to seal these in with a spray sealer just to make them, or with the deco art. Oh, Jen, that sounds fun. Birthday party. Well, thanks, Christine. Okay, and just, so I still have to put on the back what the swap is. So there's New Zealand done. Let's put that with the other two cards. All right, this is Australia. So I like this. This is pretty good. That looks great. We're missing the koala. Let's see if the koala shows up here. He's pretty good there. What if we just cut him out from here? How far? Let me see. It's his little arm here. Okay. Again, this one's smaller though, because this is the one that didn't work, but I don't mind that. I like how this pink kind of fits in. And then let's do, should we do some orange to yellow. Hi, Diane. That's funny. I'm doing a koala right now. And let's do his little face. I don't know if you're able to tell he's a koala. Now, this isn't ideal to use my alcohol markers on something with matte medium and paint on it, but we'll just blend it together. I feel like that's pretty good. I should probably get a green to do, but I don't want to. I don't want to. All right, so we're going to glue that on. Oh, Jackie, thank you. That's so sweet. I did send out the giveaways from last week. I did get those in the mail on Monday. So if you want a giveaway last week, it is in the mail. I had them ready to go, but then I just didn't make it to the post office. Okay, so there's our Australia one. Good enough. Thanks so much, Jackie. That's really sweet. I'm just gonna put that. That really helps with postage. How are we doing for time? 2:30. All right, so this is Australia for the passport ATC swap. So that's our Australia card, Sydney Explorer. I love that. All right, let's see. Ooh, London. This one needs a lot of work. This one's rough. This one is rough. Let's see. So here's the original one. I almost have to do the whole thing. I almost have to cut out this and that. And this is the original size because, is it? No, this is the original size. This one here, because it cut off parts of it. So I'm going to cut this London one all the way out, and then we'll cobble it together. Maybe what I'll do is, let's do the Ireland one first, because I think all I want to do for the Ireland one is add this Oscar Wilde here, and maybe the word Ireland. So let's do that, because this one's already colorized. So we're just going to cut them out. I did not know that Oscar Wilde was from Ireland. Did anybody else know that? I mean, I'm not very literature, in terms of literature, literary savvy. So we're going to put him there. And I kind of like that it's smaller, because then you get this outline here. And then for the word Ireland, we're just going to do it same way. So I was surprised that inkjet method worked so well, really. We're going to do that like so. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's just do that. We'll do London after, because London has a lot of work to do. Oh, thank you, Jane. That's so sweet. Thanks so much, Jane. My fellow Canadian. Canadian postage can be expensive. Yeah. I think postage everywhere can be expensive. Maybe if we have time, I can give away some of my blue papers. Oh, did I not use that one? Oh, I used the original one. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's glue on Oscar Wilde. And I love how there's that little outline for him. That's pretty cool. And then that's stuck on my hand, ready to go. And because there's acrylic paint on here, I definitely wouldn't just trust a glue stick. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing all right. I think the screen looks okay. He was a Dubliner. Is that a word? It's a word now. Okay, so there's our Irish, although it combines Southern and Northern Ireland. Sorry about that. So I guess that's not really totally proper. My in-laws would not like that. Don't tell them I did a combined one. So there's our Ireland. So that says the Mountains of Mourne, or the Mountains of Mourne, yeah. And that's a little harbor, and there's the mountains. Okay, put that in the pile. Let's see if we can fix France. I'm going to fix the easy ones first. Bye, Janet. Thank you. Thanks for the fun swap, too. All right, let's see. France, this Mona Lisa is pretty good. We can use her. I like that she's kind of faded and two-toned. She's going to be smaller, I think, than the opening. So we'll just sneak her in there like that, like so. Okay. And the Eiffel Tower didn't really work on this one. It was very faint. It was a very faint Eiffel Tower there. So let's see where else. Did anything work in here? What's here? Oh, that's the plague costume. Did not work there. Didn't work there very well. So I'll cut him out of that one. And then the Eiffel Tower didn't work here. So let's cut out Eiffel Tower, the Tour d'Eiffel, and we'll cut out the, and we're going to cheat. This is mixed media, aka cheaty art. Oh, I was sad the charcuterie and foie gras didn't show up there, so I'm going to add it back in there. I thought that was fun. And the Chanel, come on, Chanel, how come you didn't transfer? Let's see, did it work there? Not really. I should almost do a redo. Okay, so France is getting a lot of help here. The Arc de Triomphe worked pretty good. So charcuterie. I'm going to add the Chanel back in here. And we're going to add, excuse me, I'm going to add this back in here too. Okay, Chanel. Boy, this is getting a lot of help. And there's stuff missing there, some text. Okay, I'm going to put that one aside. I might do a redo of that one. I'm going to put that with my London one. All right. Africa worked pretty good. You can tell that's a giraffe. I think we just need to get those leopards. So on here it didn't work. Let's see on this one here. Hard to see. Let's go to the original. Actually, maybe for, I might use this instead for the Chanel and this guy. Okay, what was I looking at? Africa. All right, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna put this on here. Let's see how it looks. And we'll colorize it. So we're going to put that like that. Just going to I might leave the green as is, perhaps, or maybe let's do yellow on these guys. And let's do pink on the branch. That's a very bright pink. Where's the other pink? Which pink do I like better? Ooh, that's too bright. Let's do this one. Pink branch. Then we'll do these people. Let's just do this whole thing in orange. The truck. And then we'll use this blue. Sorry, it's hard to watch chat while I'm doing this. So if you get one of these cards from the swap, just know that some of these cards are additionally cobbled together. And let's cut this edge off a bit. I'm glad I printed out some of these extras. They are coming in handy. I knew I might need some backup. Okay, so we're going to put that there, although maybe we fussy cut closer to these people instead. Do that. Oh, my garbage is jumping out. Well, he's got a very pointy head now. There we go. All right. Maybe let's fussy cut around the lines too. I keep saying lines. Cheetahs? I think they're cheetahs. Okay, there we go. I like that. I like that. Now here I had some text. Well, you can kind of see it. Okay, we'll leave that. And then we're going to just fill that in with a bit of alcohol marker. Okay. All right, let's glue that puppy on there. No, I had that upright. That's why it's okay. There we go. That's not bad. It's not bad. We'll just pretend that the giraffe's head is in the mist. And that's why there's white going across, right? Instead of gorillas in the mist, it's giraffes in the mist. It's a good thing I cracked myself up. All right, there's Africa. And this is Vietnam, and this is Italy. So Italy, we definitely need to add that wine back in there. You can kind of see the Tower of Pisa. We need the word Italy. Let's see. Let's see if any of these worked. That, you can kind of see Italy there. I'm not sure. That says La Bella Vita, which you can't really read there. You can kind of read it in blue. Let's check this one. No. Let's see the wine glass. Not so much. All right. Should we just cut it from our original, or I feel like we should do it from the black and white version, the wine glass. I think that's better. wine glass. And remember, this one is a smaller version because it is shrunk down because I do not have the borderless printing. So when we went to Italy, we did this thing with the tower, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And Venice, oh, I loved Venice. Venice has the best coffee. Best coffee, I think. Okay, there's our wine glass. It's a bit smaller again, but that's okay. And then the word Italy. Now, I think for Vietnam, we're going to have to do the words. I think that's okay. We can't see her. I don't mind this Buddha here. So let's keep going while we're at it. Just a second. Oh, the Bella Vita, I want to put that up there too. I'm going to redo. Redo that too. La Bella Vita. Italy. Okay, and then we'll do her. So I think some of this I'll just have to do on my own. And I'll take a picture, or maybe I'll do a scan of them because I think I want to get these in the mail as soon as possible. I had fun doing this experiment. Once I fussy cut this, we'll go ahead and we'll do a giveaway for some of those blue papers. Sorry, I'm gonna just do this here. Ooh, my head hit the ring light there. Okay, I just had a bad angle. So we're gonna do this. Now, if I was by myself, I would definitely take more time. Okay, so that's going to go like that, and we're going to colorize it. And then I need to cut out the word Vietnam. Or maybe I might even use that one. No, that's too nice. Okay, let's use the word Vietnam from here. Where did it go? Here it is. I feel like on our trip to Japan, I feel like we do stop in Vietnam, so that might be interesting. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. We're going to colorize it though. I'll do that after the stream. So these are the ones that are going to be, that I still have to work on. Just going to put them. That one, London needs a lot of work. So those are the 4. Let's just grab a thing here. Hi, Adria. So this is going to be London, but it needs a lot of help. Paris or France, I think we're going to do that. I might change my mind. I might add some other from a different printout. That's going to be Italy, and then that one's going to be Vietnam. So I got to fix these 4. And then these are the ones that, sorry, I'm just trying to get another piece of paper here. These are the ones that we fixed. So these are all going to go to Janet for the ATC swap. I feel like he's not, I feel like he needs to blend in more. He's too, like, I might get a brighter yellow for him. I don't think that's too close to flesh tone. Anyhow, okay, I'm getting distracted. So these are the ones that either worked. The only one that I didn't add anything to was New York. I think New York was the most successful transfer. Everything else, I think I had to add a smidge to. So we got those that are done. These ones are in progress. This was our master board, which I can always seal it and then cut it down and make ATCs out of that. That might be okay. And let's do a quick giveaway. We're just going to do one giveaway. I'm just going to throw in some of my blue dyed papers that I showed earlier. Where did I put them? Just to show you. I don't know. I'll go grab them. But here, we're going to do an international type giveaway. Just one though, because I don't have a lot of time this week to do mailing. So number from 1 to 100 and closest without going over, I will mail you some of my blue painty papers, which I showed. Oh, here they are. I might not check out the beginning of the live stream. So I'll just grab a couple examples. So I don't know which ones I'm going to mail out, but I'll mail out a few different ones, but they're kind of like this. I don't know which ones I'm going to part with. Well, I'm not parting with that one, I'll tell you that much. So put a number in and we'll do a giveaway. So I hope you guys enjoyed exploring image transfer of a collage, pre-collage sheet. And then we also did the transfer from the inkjet. I think it was probably more successful without the pan pastel than without the pan pastel than with the pan pastel. Just picking it up on a separate piece of paper, I think, was a bit better. Definitely have to play with that. That's a ghost print. This was my tester sheet. So this was with just a full piece of paper. So yeah, so I hope that inspires you to try some different things. I know I had fun. Thanks, Joanne. So we'll give just a bit more time, and let me put my cap on here. And then I'm gonna finish up these cards and get them in the mail for the ATC swap. Thanks again to Janet and Dede for hosting. I'm thinking I'll probably seal them, especially the ones that have 2 layers on them. I will seal them with the DuraClear varnish that Dede uses. So she uses the gloss varnish. I bought this big thing of satin varnish, so I think I'll just use the satin varnish, and we'll do that. So those won't go out right away because you got to let that dry really well before you try to mail it. All right, I think everyone's got their numbers in. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Dorothea. I think I missed a few people coming in. All right, so let's do random.org. Random number generator. We'll do a split screen, left split. So we're going to do number between 1 and 100. Okay, so the closest one without going over, I'm going to press stop. Actually, I have to put stop in the chat first. Let's see if I can get to it here. So we'll do stop. So no numbers after the stop count. Okay. All right, first one closest to without going over to 39. I will send you some painty papers, and who knows what else will go in that package. So I'm going to write down the number 39 because I might forget what number that was, and then we'll look at the numbers you guys put in. 39. Oh, that pen doesn't work. You know, I should just throw a pen out when it doesn't work. I should just chuck it instead of putting it back. Okay, 39. So let's see. Messy Palette has 33. Elizabeth Jensen has 38. That's probably the closest. So Elizabeth Jensen, I don't think I have ever sent you any happy mail. So if you can, and I don't remember, I might play on Facebook, but I don't think I do on Instagram. So I'm going to put in my email. And then you can email me your address. Let me see if that's right. Okay, the first letter doesn't have to be uppercase, but basically this is my email. You can email me your address. I will get some of those painty papers sent to you. Not painty papers, blue dyed papers. Now I don't know, we should probably do a test. I don't know if the dye is permanent or not. Let's do a little test here before we get off. So if I were to re-wet this, thanks for the hearts, guys. If I were to re-wet this, is this going to, let's see, is that going to reactivate? Because this is dye that I think is meant more for fabric. So it seems pretty permanent on the paper, like it's not moving. I tried to move it into this area that didn't have any dye. So I think it seems to be fairly permanent on paper. I have sent you happy mail. Okay. Did you change your channel name? Because I don't remember the Madness at Bay. You just mail me some happy mail? Well, that's sweet. Okay. Yeah, if you want to send it to me again, just so I can confirm that I have the right address. Hi, Carla. Thank you for watching on the TV. That's cool. It's interesting. You can check your statistics, and 80% of my people that watch me on the TV. So I think that's probably replay watchers, but maybe not. I don't know. Are a lot of people here today watching on TV? But anyways, I am going over my time because I'm getting all chatty now. So I hope you guys had fun. Thanks so much for coming to my live stream. And I look forward to hanging out with you guys next week. Oh, next week, my mom has an appointment. I don't know what time. So I'm probably going to stream later in the evening on next Wednesday because I think her appointment is probably morning, afternoon. But we'll see how it goes. Phone in bed, on YouTube, on the TV though, right? iPad, phone. I don't like watching on my phone. It's just so small. I like my iPad. because then I find it easy to interact. Jackie's on the TV. Cool. I never watch on the TV. My husband watches YouTube on the TV, but I never do. But anyhow, I digress. Thanks for coming to my live stream. Thanks to Janet and Dede for hosting this fun ATC swap. And I look forward to showing, when I get my ATCs back, I look forward to showing you guys what I got, whose I got. Thanks, Christine. And thanks for the super chats, guys. Jackie and Jane, thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys all have a great day. And here is where I have to take my phone off of its holder to actually end the live stream. So close your eyes if you get seasick. And bye, everybody.